Blessed be everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're talking about the business of witchcraft. What did witches do throughout history to make their way in life? And what do modern witches do in the current times to be able to pay the rent, pay the mortgage, eat food, and generally have a life? We're going to talk about the business of witchcraft essentially, but before we do, I'm Sandra from mysterywitchschool.com, author of Crafting Your Wiccan Path. If you want to know more about Wicca and witchcraft, tarot or shadow work, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you don't miss any of the videos. And if you want to know where to start your witchcraft practice because you're just confused about where do I start, what's the best thing to start with, and where do I put all of these things in sequence of learning, I have a free video called How to Start Your Witchcraft Practice. There's a link in the description field below this video. You can also work one-on-one with me, particularly for coaching regarding any blockages to your mindset or beliefs about yourself and the world that are stopping you from being happy and stopping you from being able to do the things you want to do. There's a free clarity session booking form in the description field below this video if you want to do that. Otherwise, go onto my website, mysterywitchschool.com, after the video, and you can see all of the other things that I have on offer as well. Today it is about the business of witchcraft, and I wanted to go through four main things that people are doing that and have done all throughout probably witchcraft history. It's nothing new that witches did barter, did offer their services to the community. It's something that has been through many, many cultures and also in Western culture as well. So if people needed any spell work done or healing or anything related to the activities of the witch, then they would go and seek the witch's services. A lot of the time it would have been bartering, so they would have bartered something for the services. These days it is usually money, or maybe people swap their services. If you've got people in complementary industries, often there's swapping that goes on as well. But witches throughout history and throughout the world have often made a living from what it is that they do as professionals, or as any other professional out there would do. Or a lot of the time it might just be on a really small scale that they don't make a living from it, you just practice it. And that's entirely up to you. And in the modern world you have freedom. You have freedom to choose what it is that you do with your life and what you do with your practice. Remember, from a positive point of view, witches do have the ability to offer healing, to offer magic, to offer guidance and coaching, and also education in the witchcraft field as well, just like anybody else does in any other industry. So thinking of witchcraft as just another thing that people do, and another way that people are able to survive in the world. The first thing that most witches will work with if they are bringing their talents into the world is divination. Now, not all tarot readers and scryers and mediums, of course, are witches. A lot of them are from all different backgrounds, spiritually speaking. But there are many witches who do tarot readings, tea leaf readings, or a blend of a few different styles of divination into their work on a daily basis. And that's a pretty common thing for witches to do, is to do divination. And most witches will be interested in tarot, even if it's just for yourself, just your friends. You may even be wanting to maybe try to do some tarot work to bring in a little bit of extra cash. So it's pretty common for witches to utilize that skill to help other people. And when you're reading tarot for people or doing any form of divination or mediumship, that is the goal. It's actually to help somebody. Somebody's coming to you because they have questions that they want answered. And if you are in the position as a tarot reader, for example, then you are in the position of being able to help them be able to get more clarity on their situation so that they can then be able to make a decision. I treat tarot more like coaching rather than it being tarot reading. You can use the tarot cards to just read and say, this is what the cards are saying. I like to use it as a coaching tool to tell people what the cards are saying, of course, but always at the end of the day, it is about helping the querent tune into their own gifts and their own intuition and their own sense of direction so that they can be more attuned with themselves rather than just telling them what the cards are saying and giving them that, so that it's not so fatalistic, I guess. And it's more like a coaching session. But it's up to you as a reader as to how you do it. Different people have different skills at reading. Some people are great at divination, really psychic, really tuned in on that level so that you are able to really help somebody know what's coming up for them. Others are better at seeing a bigger picture and not so much detail, and working with helping the querent make decisions for themselves. So they're just different ways of working, but you'll find that out of all of the tarot readers out there and mediums out there, some of them are going to be witches. And if you love divination and you'd like to bring in a little bit of extra money into your life, then you can always use your skills in divination to do that. I have a tarot course called the Confident Tarot Reader. So if you want to become more confident reading tarot, whether you do want to make a career of it or you don't, it's up to you. Take a look at that course, the Confident Tarot Reader. There is a link in the description field below this video, because it's a great way to get confidence reading for other people. And even at first, if you don't want to charge for it, just to get up your confidence, pick a number. Say, okay, for the first 10 people, I'm not going to charge. And then after that, start charging so that you can bring in extra livelihood by doing the tarot if that's what you want to do. Number 2 is healing. A lot of witches do Reiki, for example, very common. So many witches do Reiki. I do Reiki as well. So that's another thing I do too. I do tarot coaching. I also do Reiki. And a lot of witches do that. Healing has been a big part of witchcraft history. And people would often go to a witch or a shaman or cunning folk or whoever, at whatever they're called in wherever, and seek some kind of healing, okay, or assistance to other healing modalities that they may be utilizing for whatever ails them. And so you may be a Reiki practitioner, you may do some other modality of healing, for example, and like to bring more of that into your life so that you're working in a way that's bringing in not only income for you so that you can survive in the world comfortably, but also so that you're doing something that actually brings joy to you and you feel that it is worthwhile and being of use in the world and helpful in the world. So many people have occupations that they're not happy in, and I was certainly one of those when I was working in the corporate world. And it's like, for me, because I wasn't doing something that I enjoyed doing, for me it felt very soul destroying. It was also astrologically totally incorrect for me to be doing that kind of work. But going out on your own and doing business, particularly if you're wanting a business that for a full-time income, not just a side hustle just to bring in a little bit of extra cash, but as a full-time income, it's a real personal development program and a real shadow work program, because you have to go in and confront lots of beliefs about yourself and the world in order to be able to get up off the ground and actually earn a living from doing what it is that you want to do. And so any belief that you have about yourself is going to come up. Whether it's positive or whether it's negative, it's going to be challenged and it's going to come up. But I'll talk about that later. So healing, Reiki, past life regression, shamanic journeying, soul retrieval, all different types of healing work that you may do for people to help them once again be able to have happier, more joyful lives. It's a service that you're offering to help people, okay? And a lot of people really benefit from it. You're actually helping people. So think of that when you think about the tarot reading or the healing. You're helping people, okay? It's not a bad thing. Number 3 is magic. There are witches out there who do spell casting for a living, and that, of course, is pretty traditional for witches to do. It's hard for a lot of people to find the spellcasters who are genuine spellcasters because there's so many scammers out there. And I actually don't know anybody personally right now that does spell casting as a living, so I can't recommend anybody. So please don't ask me for recommendations because I don't know anyone currently well enough to know whether what they're like at spell casting or if they're, you know, who they are, because I don't know anyone who's doing it right now. But there are genuine witches out there who do spell casting, and you've got to, I've got videos on this, so I won't go into too much detail now if you're looking for a spellcaster. But if you want to become a spellcaster, then you need to be very aware of all the scammers out there and what they're doing, because it is really tarnishing the reputation there. But there's nothing wrong with wanting to do spell work for people if you know that you're really good at it, because people want it and they're needing a solution to their problem. And if you think a spell can work for them, if the spell is the solution to their problem or one of the solutions to your problem, then you can offer those services to people. And there's nothing wrong with doing that, because witches have been doing that forever. Okay, so that's another way that you can utilize your skills as a witch to bring in more livelihood into your life if you wish to do so. The 4th one is education. So it is teaching and training people in whatever area of expertise that you have. So you probably are multi-skilled, and if you want to go out there and teach, if teaching is something that is part of what you do or part of what you love doing, you may find that you're drawn to do that. And often the universe is just going to pretty much put you in that kind of area, whether it's teaching, divination, whatever. You're going to find that you're drawn into that area whether you want to be or whether you don't, because that's part of your path. So teaching could be another way that you can make a living in the world doing what it is that you love doing in the craft. And that's one of the things that I do, because I love teaching, and I never thought that I would actually be formally teaching this at all. It wasn't something I ever thought I would be able to do, and sometimes I still think that it's difficult to do, but life will lead you wherever it is that you need to go. So whether it's divination, healing, magic, education, or all of them, of course you can do all of those things too. These are ways that you're helping people, and also sharing your skills in the world and doing something that makes your heart sing, doing something that you feel is really you. It's like a heart-centered type of business. And that brings me to a major area that I want to talk about when it comes to witches in business, or anybody in any helping profession in business, is the whole mindset around it. When I first went into business, I was working exclusively with heart-centered business people. So these were people who were in alternative healing modalities, for example, or they could have been also readers, tarot readers, people who work like reflexologists, coaching, all sorts of industries or areas that people were really passionate about. They really wanted to do something with their time that they loved, and also to contribute and serve the world in some way, all at the same time. But what came up for a lot of people in this industry was the problem of money. And so I worked a lot with people with money mindset, because I've had to work a lot with my money mindset. And believe me, money mindset is a huge, huge, huge barrier, or can be if it's the wrong mindset, to you being able to live a fulfilled life, particularly if you really feel a calling to doing something like this in your life, healing, reading, whatever. Because there's a belief system in Western culture that if you are a caring, loving, helping person, you shouldn't want to charge for your services, or if you do, it shouldn't be much. When I was much, much younger, I had the attitude and belief system that if you were really helping and caring and spiritual, you would do everything for nothing. Now, I had that belief system, right? I was coming from a really, really entitled place because I had no concept, because I was unemployed at the time too. So it was like I had no respect for the fact that the people that I may have wanted to seek out for readings or whatever also needed to make a living doing what it is that they do. I was expecting other people to give their time, their energy, and their knowledge, which costs time and energy, as well as the costs associated with providing the service. I wanted it all for nothing. I wanted to take from them and not give anything in return. And a lot of people who are involved in helping and healing professions, we need to look at our mindset around money and how we feel about giving our money to people in that industry too. Because often what happens is you'll come into doing this work for yourself and you're going to come up against all of those beliefs within yourself and also from other people who are going to mirror those beliefs for you. So it's a real challenge for a lot of people to be able to know the value of what it is that you're doing. How much do you value what you're doing? Do you see your readings, your healing, your magic as being valuable and worth what it is you need to charge, and you do need to charge to be able to offer the service, right? What's your value? Because this is going to be a core thing that's going to be a shadow work aspect for you if you are thinking of doing, making a living doing any of these things that witches do. You know, is it a valuable service? And how much do you value your time? How much do you value your time? How much do you value your energy? Okay? How much do you value your health? How much do you value having a roof over your head? How much do you value having food on the table? How much do you value having a life where you can go and do things and have the money to pay for things when you want to pay for things? Having a decent life. It's not just about bringing in income to put a roof over your head and food on the table. You want to have a decent life the same as anybody else who's got a job. So how do you value what you do? And all of those things such as time, energy, resources, because it costs money to have a business. How do you value all of that? And look at that within yourself first before you launch into trying to make money from it, because these things will come up if you've got issues around that. You are going to get people who are going to be disrespectful towards what you do. There are some people that seem to think they can just use a witch. I want a witch to do this, I want a witch to do that. You need to make sure that you allow yourself to respect yourself and so that when those people come along, you can push back and say no, because they're not the right fit for you. You're going to also find that there's people who are going to want you to do your services for nothing as well, or they're going to really try to get you to do it for a really, really low price that you couldn't possibly survive on if you were offering your services or products or whatever for that price. You have to say no to them too. That's a big one. That's a big one, because when you first start out, you may think, well, any money's money, but you want to be valuing what you're doing enough so that the people who come along who don't value what you're doing, you don't want to be working with those people, because they're going to drain your energy, they're going to drain your resources, and you're going to be left feeling burned out and resentful. So heads up about that. So that was just something about money mindset that's really important if you want to go out there into the world working with these kinds of alternative ways of being, because we've been taught in Western culture that it's wrong to want to make a living from these things. But we live in a world where you have to make a living. If you have not got someone else providing for you, you have to make a living. So it's best to make a living doing what you love, doing what you really feel is being of service in the world, and dealing with any of the mindset beliefs that you may have that's stopping you from really being able to offer your value and the value of what it is that you do, your time, your energy, your knowledge, your resources, and understand that we live in a world of energy exchange. So you're exchanging energy with people. You can swap with other practitioners. That's really common. So you might swap a healing session for a tarot reading with somebody. That's really good. Or if you want to barter. But always make sure that you feel like your resources and your needs are being met before you give away your services, because you don't want to drain your energy, you don't want to drain your resources, and you don't want to drain your time as well, because it's really going to come back and bite you. Okay, so just thought I'd give you a little bit of a rundown of witches in business. If you want to learn if you want to learn witchcraft, if you want to connect to yourself through practicing your craft, even if it is just for you, you don't have to go into business. Most people don't. I have the Mystery Witch School 101 Academy, so this is the teaching arm of what I do. Is I do teach people how to connect more to your spiritual practice, how to bring it into your life on a daily basis, and bring that connection that so many people are looking for, that we've just been pinched off from in Western culture, to bring that connection back to yourself and who you truly are, and nature and spirit. So that's the Mystery Witch School 101 Academy, another online course that I have, as well as the Confident Tarot Reader online course that I also have for those of you who want to learn tarot. If you like the video, hit the like button, share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe. All of the links to courses and freebies are all in the description field below this video. Blessed be everyone, and I'll see you on the next video.